Republicans are making their pitch on who they want for their candidate. Who would they like to see as their challenger? Well, the Democrats also have a choice in this election. We know President Joe Biden is seeking re-election, but he does have two challengers, Minnesota Representative Dean Phillips and author Marianne Williamson. Ultimately, it's going to come down to who Americans want. Here to help us answer that question is Calvin Dark. He's a political analyst and co-founder of RC Communications. Calvin, thank you for being with us this morning. So, judging by current polling numbers, the frontrunners in both parties seem to be a rematch of what we saw in 2020. But both President Trump and President Joe Biden have seen pretty bad polling numbers during their presidency. Why do you think both of these men have still remained the forefront candidates for both parties?
Well, good to be here. You know, they always say the sequel is never as good as the original. And I think that one thing most Americans can agree on is a sequel to this rematch is not what everybody wants. But what voters do want, and this is now and has kind of been the historical trend, is stability and familiarity. And regardless of what you think about President Biden or former President Trump, they are very, very known quantities. And so I think that works in their favor, meaning that they're likely the representatives for their party, but then works against them because a lot of voters want something new.
And when it comes to a Republican challenger, is there one candidate that Democrats would want to see over another on the November ballot? Obviously, we know former President Trump has an incredible lead, at least in the polls we've seen from Iowa. If there is a chance that another candidate could overtake him, would Democrats like to see either Ron DeSantis or Nikki Haley there instead?
I think that Democrats and Biden don't want to see Nikki Haley. And the reason is that she has advantages that neither Biden or Trump has. You know, she, of course, has the CV, but she doesn't have the age issue. And she is really good at least feigning moderation that will appeal to a lot of independents. So I think that Democrats want former President Trump as the opponent because it makes an amazing split screen. You have Joe Biden doing the job, facing challenges at home and abroad. Compare that with Donald Trump in and out of court and all the chaos that follows. That is going to make people in the middle and people, non-MAGA Republicans, think twice about supporting Trump with all that chaos.
Yeah, certainly a lot of people thinking that's where it's going to end up, whether, you know, anyone likes it or not. Now, in an interview with CNN, one of Biden's Representative Dean Phillips, says President Biden and the Democratic Party is blackballing him. Take a listen, and I want to get your thoughts on the other side of this.
We know how the game works. You know, when you're the incumbent, especially right now, not debating, not showing up and campaigning, not answering questions of the press. And of course, it's an age-old tradition to try to deplatform any competition.
What's your take on that?
Well, he's not wrong. That is exactly what's happening, but that is also the way it happens. Let's think about the alternative. Would that look great for the Democrats if they didn't even support the person currently in the job who wants to keep the job? And I think that one of the things that Phillips is finding, that everybody who might want to run for president is finding, in America, if you don't have the support of one of the two main parties, it's going to be a very, very tough tough opportunity. So I think what you're seeing with him is just the reality of how the situation is. I don't think it's personally directed towards him by any way by the DNC.
Definitely, you know, the far and away challengers to President Joe Biden. He will most likely be the Democratic Party's nominee for president this year. Calvin Dark, as always, appreciate your insight and thanks for talking with us today.
Thank you.